Let's lose the water. Try not to put any waters on the couch. There's a phone. There's a phone next to the orange juice. Okay, so for your water, can you duck it off behind the couch on? All right, and for that collection of waters right there, try and put them like in the darkness under the chair. Or yeah, if they're unopened, yep. See, check that out. Thank you, Jeff. Cool. That's the microphone.
It's live on my page.
Huh?
It's live on my page.
It's live on your page too?
Yeah, it's their Wi-Fi.
He said it's live on his page.
So boom, for this wide angle, can you move your chair in some more? Everybody else say exactly where they're at. Say where you at, where you going. No, not you. Young man behind you.
Yeah, flip that front camera. Yeah, flip it to the front camera. It's picking up this weird.
Okay.
Who is that? What is that? It's gone? Okay. All right, so the wide angle I'm happy with. Side angle I'm happy with.
You got the front camera going?
Yeah, that's I'm happy with. All right, cool. Pictures great.
We live too.
Y'all live too?
Live.
So y'all ready to roll? All right, we count. Let's Wi-Fi. Greg?
I'm here.
Wi-Fi? You have the Wi-Fi?
Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi code. Like how do
Oh, you need it?
Yeah. Check
Okay.
needs it, yeah.
I'm like,
Then
Y'all make sure y'all smash that like button. Get us up in the algorithm. Go ahead and share this to everybody. Make sure they hitting that bell notification. Let's get us up in the algorithm, baby. We capturing legacy today. I got my great uncle, my grandfather, and one of YouTube's finest. We got Pat. You did. We about to make history, baby.
Yes, sir. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. It's that simple. You ain't gotta do it in that order, but as long as you do those three.
Yes, sir. I gotta make sure God, y'all see me looking at this camera too, just for my audience, but I'm gonna make sure I focus on this as well.
okay, great. Yeah, I mean,
When I'm speaking, I'm trying to make sure.
yeah, for sure. I was just thinking, like, you would be more familiar with the flow than I am. So anytime you feel like you need to take a break to address the live audience, make it a commercial break. Like vocalize, hey, we're going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Pop and and then that way we can take a break and reset. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Without like a continuous stream of conversation.
Gotcha. And if y'all got any questions in the chat, make sure y'all go ahead and drop them.
All right, Chuck, you good?
Yeah, let me double check this real quick, but I'm good otherwise.
Who's going first?
Whatever flavor, man. Start. Yeah. You rocking up. That's
do you think that here?
All right, cool. Just hold. Everybody's doing fantastic. How quiet you are. Keep that energy for the next 2.5 hours. All right, cool. Rolling all around. Camera
Speed.
Camera A speed. Camera B. Camera C.
Speed.
Audio speed. This is Creating Legacies, episode 1, take 1. Mark. And I'm gonna count down from 5. I'm going quiet at 3. 5, 4.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the first, but not the last, episode of Capturing Legacies, where we're recording and making history with ordinary people telling extraordinary stories. I'm your host, Stamar A. Pat Mitchell, alongside my co-host,
Greg Burns, also known as Grown with Soul.
aka Stuff Like That. And we got our two guests with us today. I'm gonna start with, we got Pops right here, Mr. Leonard Burns. How you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
Oh yeah, never better. Like I say, I'm cooling like the AC. Might hop out of igloo. I don't know. That's how cool I am.
Wow, that's cool.
And, you know, I'm super cool. So alongside him, we got Unc over here, Mr. Al, Billy Burns. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just glad to be here, and this is something different, but I'm gonna try to get through it.
Okay, awesome. Well, we appreciate y'all coming through. We're really about to make history with this show. I just want to take the time to let y'all know and understand that you're going to hear a lot of things. Some things may be emotional. Some things may make you tear up. If you feel that tear, just let it drop. You know what I'm saying? It's a human being thing. They tell us not to cry. It's okay to cry. You don't got to be a cry baby, but it's okay to let the tears drop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But Mr. Greg Jr.,
Yes, sir.
how you feeling, man?
I feel beautiful.
Okay.
I'm out here. I got my grandfather, my great uncle, and we're in this beautiful studio capturing legacy. It's an amazing time right now, creating history, and this is going to be one of those pivotal moments that we can look back and share this with our kids, and talk about the beautiful day and pass on the message of what a beautiful life is supposed to be like.
Yes.
What love look like, what black love look like.
Hey, emphasis on that. Emphasis on that.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get the party started. I'm going to start with you, Pops.
Yes.
Tell them where you from. Where you born at? Tell them where you
I
from.
was born in Charity Hospital, New Orleans, Louisiana, December 8, 1941.
Okay.
And that's only been 83 years ago.
83 years. Don't look a day younger than 84.
Oh, man, 83. That's some years on me. I just turned 32 today. I got a long way to go.
My grandkids, I got grandkids over the year.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
You do, indeed.
You said today?
Today, yes.
Happy birthday, brother.
Oh, thank you.
Go ahead, give it a brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. 32 years young, I'm starting to feel it, though. I'm starting
Your
to feel
knees,
it.
huh?
I'm waking up a little slow, a little grunts.
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
starting
there
to
it
feel
is.
It's all good,
30 when you start making them grunts in the morning.
Yeah, it's like once that 29 switch to 30, it's like an instant switch. You start to feel things you ain't never felt before. But neither here nor there. Where you from? Tell them where you born at.
Born in Bachelor, Louisiana, 1948. Out of the 9 kids, I was the only one that was born at home. He was at the hospital. The rest of them were at the hospital. I was born at home. I didn't want to take the travel, so I stayed there. But 78 years ago.
Okay. So we got 83 and 78. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all looking healthy. Y'all looking good. I also want to know, on top of where you were born at, who were you born from? Who are your parents? Tell us a little bit about them.
Rosella and Jim Burns, and we're all farmers. And I could still own a farm. 18 years I was on the farm and lived there and worked there and hated every minute of it because I was not a farmer, but it wasn't that I had a say-so in it, but I did until I graduated from high school, and I never looked back. I took off.
Okay. And I have a grandmother, Ada Lawrence, and also my auntie Beulah Quinn was like mothers to me. And they helped raise us because my dad was MIA. So I had like 3 moms, my biological mother and auntie and my grandmother was all like mothers to me. So, and they helped me all along the way.
How was childhood for you guys growing up? Being on the farm, we're talking about the early 50s. How was that?
I'm milking a cow. I've tried plowing a mule. I wasn't no good at it. This was back in the 40s, late 40s, early 50s. So most of you wasn't even thought about back then. Other than me and my brother Al here, you guys, none of you was even thought about it. But I did it all. Even when I went in the military in '63, I was so much advanced over the especially with the city boys that had never been away from home, didn't know how to do anything, and I knew I wasn't afraid of work. So I grew up working, and I worked all my life. And at 83, I still work. Anytime I can find something to do, I'll do it. And I'm not afraid of work up until today.
Question for you. Which one of your siblings was out trying to milk a cow and got underneath those udders and got to gagging?
Well, me and the cow didn't get along too good. I think she knew I feared her, and she had a tail, patted me with a tail, and I just didn't. That was his job after that.
I was a young one on the block, so I didn't have to milk the cow and watch them do it, certainly, but all the other chores I had to do around there, feed the chickens, slop the hogs and that good stuff. And I want to say, as a kid, I was abused by my brothers. They used to beat me up, all the bad things that need to be done, they pushed me out to do it. And so I had to grow up being tough on that farm, but supportive, they were always there. And when they wanted to get something did and didn't want our mother knew about it, they'd throw me under the bus.
Gotcha.
Got a question for both of y'all. All right. So since y'all grew up doing farm work, what's some of the toughest stuff on the farm you ever had to do?
Picking cotton, chopping cotton,
And baling hay.
pulling corn.
And I've worked for $3.50 a day. I mean, this is a day, not an hour, all day. This is from sun up to sundown. $3.50. This is about $24 a week for 6 days. And I saved money with that. I mean, because everything was so cheap. Soda was like a nickel. A loaf of bread, well, we didn't have to buy the bread. A loaf of bread was like 10 cents or something like that. And they only had a few soda drinks. There was root beer, there was Bob's, there was RSC Cola, and there was a knee-high, and maybe a few other drinks. But it wasn't even canned drink, wasn't even back then. No canned drink, just bottle drink.
$10 would have got you the whole grocery store.
Oh yeah, we probably grocery me $5 or $6. Because we didn't buy everything. It wasn't much that we had to buy. We raised everything. We had pigs, we had cattle, we had turkeys, chicken, duck. You name it, we grew it. And it was hard work. You had to feed all those animals and take care of them because they couldn't take care of themselves. The worst thing I had was feeding pigs, stinky pigs, and when we had slop, all the dishwater and everything was poured into a container. It was pretty rough back then because you had the outhouses, and it wasn't very sanitary, so you didn't wash your hands probably much after you came out of the outhouse. So it was rough. Especially during the winter, you had to go outside to get wood, and I remember not even before we had electricity, we just had lamp oil lights, and didn't have a refrigerator. You had an ice man that came by like once every few days, and you put ice in an ice box, and it only lasted a few days. But you only had stuff like maybe butter, eggs. You only had a few items in there. You couldn't put perishable food in there, and there wasn't no leftovers back then because we had a whole house full of people, and whatever they cooked, it was consumed. There was no leftover, never.
So, question for y'all. What was a remedy y'all used to use for, let's say when y'all got sick, if y'all had a cold? What are some old remedies that your mother would use on you guys?
Castor, they like Karo syrup or something like that. But going to the store, buying it, that didn't happen. Or you had to rough it out,
Hot toddy?
Hot toddy. And but you didn't have that much medicinal stuff that they gave you then. And the first thing, you're gonna be all right, baby. Don't go, just hang in there, And so you did. And unless you had a broken finger or something like that, they'd take you to the hospital or doctor. But other than that,
That was very rarely.
yeah. So
Very rarely.
So you roughed it.
Did y'all experience any racism in the hometown?
Actually, it was when we grew up in the rural. We all worked White, black worked in the
Hold
field
on.
together, so
Let's,
what's so
let's
bad?
stop right there. We're gonna pick back up with did you experience any racism? Check, I'm getting an echo from your mic. Any
Echo?
yeah, legitimate echo. No, don't stop recording. Talk straight ahead like you are now. Just talk with your head facing. Count to 10.
I'm sorry.
Count to 10. Count to 10, Grandpa.
Count to 10.
Count to 10.
Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Which one?
And keep the monitor too. Keep the monitor audio, that's the way hearing the echo.
Yeah, I'm about to mute everybody else. Keep talking.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Salute to the chat. I see everybody in the building. Make sure y'all smash that like button.
I know it'll be fine. He just get picked up twice because he's still getting a direct feed, and then his mic is just picking up. So we're still good. But while we're doing that, I think we need to change this battery up. We only got one thing left. So let's stop down all around. We're gonna pick back up with did you experience any racism?
Camera cuts.
Camera's cut audio. Thank you, Chuck.
So just leave it there and we'll just say yes and pick it back up again.
No, stop it. Stop it and name it. This will be Creating Legacy, Episode 1, Part 1. Not take. Yes, do the full part. Yeah, you can just put CL.
Hey, Patrick. I like how we bouncing back. I think it makes the conversation just way more fluid.
Yeah. Like, got the script, but just like
let's
asking
flow.
free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Questions just popping up.
You're doing good, Granddad. You're doing great. Y'all doing good. Hit me on the black side, baby.
Some black knuckles.
That's right.
You're not picking that up.
No, my line is full. We good. They in there. They want to see the organic feed.
Yes.
Well, don't have me acting.
Oh, look, I'm crazy on my line. They with me.
Rolling the camera.
Yeah, no, we cut for the recording, but we live right there. Look, YouTube, that's the live chat right there.
Camera.
Hey, Big Sexy, you on the camera? You live, baby.
Rolling. Camera A rolling. Camera B rolling. Audio.
Mic check.
Mic check, 1, 2, mic check.
Oh, good. Audio speed. Right. Hold for bathroom break. Somebody's in trouble. We got okay. Greg,
Look at my dad.
I told you you walk right to the camera.
All right, cool. We're rolling all around. Wait, somebody in the bathroom? Okay, cool.
Oh, let me stay in the front. She don't want to be on the camera. Salute everybody. Got you. I'll see. Looked out for you.
All right, cool. We are rolling all around, and I'm going to get in position and count down from 5, going quiet at 3. And where I like easy. All right, we're gonna do. You should be good. I got a lot in the background.
That's a whole different person.
What you got? All right, this is Creating Legacy, Part 2, Episode 1. And Mark?
So, for you guys.
Hold. I'm gonna count down from 5. Boom. Audio good? While we flashing.
We're good.
Okay. Boom. Solid signal. Second mark, episode 1, part 2. Second mark. Boom, check. You good?
You all rolling?
All right, cool. Rolling all around. 5, 4, 3.
So, growing up in your little town, did you guys experience any racism?
Well, I'm gonna say yes and no because we was like blacks was here, whites was there. We of course we worked for the whites, and they had black high school, white high school, and me personally, I was called the N-word once by a kid. My age young, and I chased us behind in his yard and threatened to beat him up till his grandma came out and she spanked his rear end. And other than that, me personally, I never was called the N-word to my face. And I really didn't get that call until I joined the military. You know, when I was in the Army, you know, they could use the N-word, kick you behind back in the 60s, and you had no say-so. And it died down until I went to Vietnam. And it was we all fought together in the jungle, and you came to the rear, blacks over here, whites over here, and every now and again you would hear that N-word, but other than that, as a kid growing up, me personally was that running game, worked with the white, played with the white, big cotton with the whites, but never directly to my face.
How about yourself, man?
I'm going to add to that a little bit. We worked in the field right alongside the white people. I'd never seen so much racism until I went to like New Orleans or Baton Rouge. Then you see color along the bathrooms, water fountains, but you didn't see that out in the country where we grew up at, because we worked in the field, ate at the same dinner table with them at lunchtime, and it wasn't so bad then. Now, after I got out of the military wasn't bad racism. In the Army, it wasn't bad at all. But after I got out and I started working for Avondale Shipyard, now, there was a bunch of rednecks I worked with there. And one night, I called him something. There was a funny name they called him, and I called him that name. And he said, Burns, if you call me that name again, I'm going to call you a name you don't like. And I said, what can you call me that I cannot call you? I said, there's no name you can call me that I can't call you. And I called him the N-word. And after that, all the people were laughing at him and calling him, hey, and I don't like to use that word. And I tell the kids don't use the word. And it wasn't allowed in my house, the N-word. That and profanity, I never practiced that. And I won't say I never said it. I said those things, but I don't practice it. It's because I don't want my kids doing it, and I don't want them to pass it on to their kids. So profanity and using the N-word, that was a no in my house.
Very respectful. Because I know me as a millennial, I use it. I do stand-up comedy, so it falls into, what I do. And it's a terrible word at the end of the day. And I wish it was an easier way to break it. It's just like maybe a few years from now, I'll be able to sit down and really dissect my, vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? But doing this podcast with y'all today is definitely helping to work, because my goal is I don't want to use any profanity. But today, no.
You're used to saying it around friends, around block. It's easy to say because I've used it quite a few times, but most around family and friends, or maybe from time to time in a joke, friendly joke, but in fact, later on in my life, my career in law enforcement, worked 30 years with the Baton Rouge Police Department. That was used quite a bit when I started working at 77. He was on the radio. And at the end of my career, I wound up suing for discrimination because that was part of the thing that at 94, when we had our first black female officer was killed, and I was working in internal affairs, and I had to go out and investigate the case. On my way home, someone came over the police radio and said, "Nigga, I see you, you're next." And I'm looking around, who the hell this so-and-so is? I'm going to mess him up. And I called the dispatcher and said, "We get that all the time, Sarge, but no one do anything about it." And I'm saying, we're going through a traumatic experience here with female officer, black people didn't want to do anything about it, so we wanted to get an attorney and we pushed which took us 11 and a half years before we finally settled this thing, but we stayed the course, and that's our concern. I was about the N-word.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, like, I've always told, I've never really experienced true racism to the point where anybody of, you know, a white person has came up to me and said it, and or even slick under their breath. I've never experienced it. But I always told myself, like, I know for a fact, if it happens to me, I'm a whole different person. Like, you don't get this cool comment. I'm going to show you why you share the situation, but I've talked to God, I let him know what I'm going to do, and that's just what it's going to be.
Well, picture this, you're a 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, and you're in boot camp, and your drill instructor come up, look you in the eye, and call you nigger. And there's nothing you can do. If you did think about doing it, he'd beat the you-know-what out of you. And so you had to adjust to that, You didn't like it, but what could you do about it? Until you got to the point where you could do something. You act or threaten to act on it, and then I was okay, but I never really had to fight anybody over that word, threaten to keep it behind. But I was the person that I didn't start argumentative. You said something to me, we got to fight it, we're going to let it go.
That's
but
what
I'm
it
not
is.
going to go word for word.
That's what it is. I mean, I also have some military experience. I was a weekend warrior, National Guard. I would have went active duty, but coming from where I come from, all they preach about in Washington, D.C. is National Guard. That's all you see is National Guard posters everywhere. And then I can sit with the recruiter, and they're like, oh, you get to get all these benefits, signing bonus, and all, and get all this. And, you know, I signed a dotted line, and it was all a lie with the National Guard.
So you spent time in D.C.?
Yes, sir. I'm thinking about re-enlisting. Simply because I didn't get to do it the way I wanted to do it with the Guard. And I want to get the benefits out. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm still able to. I'm still probably in the best shape of my life. So I've been thinking about, like, that is like a plan C, something to have in the back pocket. You know, because when I was a 91 Delta, generator mechanic. And it's pretty cool. You know, basic training was, I went to Relaxing Jackson. Fort Jackson, you know about that.
Yeah.
Fort Jackson.
North Carolina.
Yes, sir. So it was it wasn't that bad. It was different. You know, not having my phone and stuff like that, having to write letters, it almost felt like prison in a sense. I'm just like, I don't got my phone. They hold letters back. We get our letters when they tell us. It built a lot of discipline in me. Even though I had some, it built more. And it was a great experience. So when I got the AIT, that's when I tried to, hey, you know, I want to go active. And like, no, we don't do that.
I started my law enforcement career up in Washington, D.C., Metropolitan Police Department, 1970. And there was a lot of races there because you got, at that time, there was 1,500 police officers. And out of that 15, I think 500 was black, the rest of them white. At that time, D.C. was a chocolate city. But they had the best assignments, and, you know, they didn't use the work, they showed it. They showed you had to go here. We had to walk to beat 2 feet of snow. They had patrol cars. We walked to beat. They had patrol cars. We walked to beat. And there was very little that we had say so as blacks until a couple of us started saying this ain't right, this is not right. And we decided to form a committee to go before the chief, and he said, now, Burns, you'll be a spokesperson. I said, well, we're going to go together. Oh, yeah, we're going to go. So we're going to meet at this place, and we're going to go before the chief and look around. It was just me. I said, we're going to try it again. Those guys was afraid to do it because I was one of these rebels that I didn't mind speaking up, but for the seed that we was going through, the racism where we were outnumbered as far as the whites was concerned, but I never had heard the word to my face, of course. But one guy from Alabama come up there, and we stopped him, me and my black brother. And he was almost about to say to him, well, I didn't know colored people could stop us. And so we lit him up, of course. That's your limitations, or we took care of that problem.
Yeah. Still active and still a thing. But I know back then, it's a lot of stuff that there was no social media, there's no phones, there's no cameras to maybe prevent or scare a person and be like, if I do this or act this way, I could lose my job due to this person recording me. You know, back then And folks, I know they was probably just doing whatever they wanted to do. And nowadays, you see a lot of it on social media. You see a lot of they call them Karens. And they act out. They act real. It's like it's almost they're possessed when you see them on camera and the way they just letting the N-word out or just any type of racial slur they could think of on camera. And I'm just like, this is insane. You have a job that you're about to lose. Like, and you don't even care. You throw it all the way just to be racist.
Well, let's go back to the forearms. A lot of times, some people call that because they were living on these people's property. They were sharecroppers or whatnot. And you had a choice of taking it or you had to go, and you had no place to go. So, fortunately, we had our own farm, so we didn't have to go to that. But a lot of people that I've heard, I never, Mr. So-and-so, the way he treated, the way he looked down on us, but they had to take it. So that was a norm back in the 50s and the 60s coming up.
I can say I've never had a white person call me the N-word face to face. I'm not saying that I've done it behind my back, but one year, 1966, Greg was a couple of weeks old. I was going to a summer camp, I had been out of the military a year, and I was going to 2 weeks training in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I was in field artillery. I got a hearing loss from that, by the way. And we stopped in Dallas, Texas for lunch. Me and a guy that was in my company, a white guy, was in my company. And we went to a restaurant. From the bus station, we walked to a restaurant downtown Dallas. And we went inside out and they told the white guy, we can serve you, but we can't serve him. So we both he said, well, the white guy, he said, if you can't serve him, you can't serve either one of us. And we got up and walked out. And I got respect for this guy for doing that. You know, he had been in my company, but just the two of us was on the bus going to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And they wanted to serve him, but they didn't want to serve me. This is in 1966 in Dallas, Texas. So, like I said, we both got up and walked out and went to the bus station and got us something to eat from there, a hamburger or something. But we decided, we thought we were going to go to a restaurant and just sit down and eat, but it didn't work out.
Shout out to the white people that stuck up for us and still do. Shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all. Because y'all don't got to do that. You can turn the other cheek, like Martin said. But we appreciate y'all.
You got to remember, too, that they call you that twice. Before you enter the room and after you leave the room. You're going to get the N-word said.
I believe.
That sounds like California. Hey, how you doing? As soon as you turn around.
Oh, yeah. The ER.
Oh yeah. Man. Strong ER.
Nah, I'm grateful it never. I don't know how I will react, and I hope I never have to go through that.
I've got a question. Let's go. 1965. What was a good, honest salary in that day? Because it seemed like, oh my God, every day cost of living go up.
$3 a day.
$3 a day.
In 65, you said?
Yeah, 65.
65 was about $1.25 an hour. It was more than that. 1950s, it was like $3 or $4 a day. But in 65, even when I got out of the military in 65, most of the job in the New Orleans area was $1.50 an hour until I went to the shipyard.
No, but you were talking about on the farms in the rural area, $3 a day, that was your top.
Yeah.
You know?
Man.
If you're picking cotton, you could maybe got over that a little bit. If you got 200 pounds, well, who picked 200 pounds? I couldn't do 200.
That's insane. $3 a day.
Can't get a gallon of gas with that.
Well, back then, gallon of gas was
18, 20 cents a gallon.
15, 16, 17 cents a gallon.
Man.
And we farmed on the tractor, it was like 8 cents a gallon for the tractor. But if they put a peel and turn it purple, so if you try to burn it in the car, around your carburetor, and it would make you pay regular price for it. But it would turn purple. We had a 150 gallon drum that we put gas in for the tractor. Remember the size of the drum?
My brothers cheated. It's supposed to have been for the tractors, y'all put in the car. That old car used to smoke on time. So y'all cheated. Y'all put that 8 cent y'all.
If you'd have got caught with it, you'd have paid the regular price for it. And that was like 15 cents a gallon at that time anyway.
I got a question for y'all. So in the 60s, you working, you getting money, or you military. What was your most expensive purchase, like a luxury item, if you had one?
Back in that days?
Back in those days, yes, sir.
Say that one more time.
So what?
Luxury?
Yeah.
What was that? A new pair of shoes for the beginning of school?
I mean, whatever it was. What was something that you bought yourself as an adult during those times, in those early years, your early 20s? What was something that you got some money in your pocket?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna buy this.
My first was a brand new Monte Carlo. I paid $2,800 for.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah.
$2,800, and so I was very thrilled. Let me tell you a short story on it. I worked at this job. I went to the credit union and they said, go find a car, bring the paperwork, and go and put your loan application in. A few days later, they called and said, well, it's been approved, come down and get the paperwork done. Well, I went down there and they counted out $2,800 for me. Now I got to drive from, I was working over in Canal Street, right off Canal Street, the Bourbon Street area, French Quarters, and I got to ride clear across town on the bus. And I ain't never had that much money in my pocket. Most I've had maybe was $100 that much. I'm scared to death. I'm sitting on the back of the bus with my hands closed, thinking somebody's going to rob me. But when I got to that car dealership and I counted out that money, I said, thank you, Jesus. And the guy laughed at me and said, what's wrong with this person? I said, I'm just glad to get rid of this money because I never had this kind of money. Yeah, so I said, well, great. They give me a tank full of gas. And I drove off after for $2,800 is what I paid. That was my first buy.
That's all right there.
First buy, I had when I first got out of the military, I got a 60. You remember the Falcon I gave to you? That you got tore up? That was like $1,700. It was a year old, but it was like $1,700. After that, I bought me a 66 SS 396. $2,300 brand new. But guess what? No air conditioning, no power brakes. It had power steering. You remember that SS I had? The blue? And then I let Lionel have it because going through Morganza, running from the cops, I had the speed hammer was buried in the corner. It only had 120 on it, but it had pegged out in the corner. Running from the cops. Front tire blew out. And when we pull over, stop, the back tire was flat. It had the red stripe wide overs, 2 flat tires. The cop caught us because we're stopped. Y'all going to jail tonight. Y'all going to jail. And I had my sister already with Angie was a baby. I said, we were rushing to get the baby to the doctor. The baby's sick. I was lying. And so it wound up taking us to get Monty spare tire. We gave a fifth of liquor and $20, and that was it. And the cops, we gave them a fifth of liquor and $20, and let us go. And they took my sister with the baby and brought us a spare back, and that was it. But it was $2,300, brand new car back then.
So are we talking, when y'all say brand new, is that coming with a car note too, or that's just straight?
No, I had a payment. Our payment was $103 a month.
That's it?
For 24 months or something like that.
Wow, it's $536.
And I paid like $300 down. So it was interest on that too.
I had air conditioned radio and my notes was $79 a month.
You probably paid something down.
Zero, credit union. Took everything.
But you probably had 36 months,
Right.
24 months. You had 36 months probably.
I'm sure I did.
Yeah, I had 24 months. And my payment was like $103 a month. So Laney, my brother, I said, I'm going to give myself killing this card. I gave it to him. And I got a 67 Caprice.
You was gonna
You
get
gonna get
yourself killed, you
yourself
gave it to
killed.
him.
So you gave it.
I gave it to my brother. He was crazier than I was. So I got a 67 Chevy Caprice with a 327 in it. And top speed 114, but I'm used to 130 of them. Now it would only run 114, and that was it.
Well, let me correct you on when you said that Ford Falcon that you guys tore. That's incorrect.
Uh-oh.
You did give it to me.
Yes, I
Because
did.
I was ready
Oh,
to
you
graduate
come back
from
from
high
Vietnam?
school and
No.
Vietnam, and I was at the club that we had called the Rock House. And I got a little high, and my cousin said, well, look, let me drive the car. And I reluctantly let him drive, and I rode with somebody else, and he tore up my car. So don't say you guys do it.
Well,
I wished I had the luxury of tearing up a car that was given to me, but I didn't. I let one of my relatives. But and I love the little car, 4-speed. But no, don't say you guys do it. She too it.
You've been holding that in for years.
Oh yeah,
You've been holding that in
But
for years.
I had to forgive it.
that's all
So
right.
at what age did y'all learn to drive?
We drove a tractor. You're probably about
And
10.
you got big enough to put your foot on the clutch and hold the steering wheel. Because you learn from that, driving the tracks on the farm, and then other vehicles when you work for people. And I got my license when I was 15, but I had been driving before then.
I had a license, I had nothing, didn't have nothing to drive but a tractor.
Hold on, you got your license when you were what?
15. And I regretted that day when I got it because, again, I was a victim. They used to take our mother to the store on the weekends, and she would stay gone all the time. And so, let's teach Billy how to drive. Let's teach Billy how to drive. Let him go get his license. And well, I didn't do it better. And the first 2 times, I would go from morning to evening, and she'd keep me down there all day long. All he got was one hamburger and French fries and milkshake. And so I learned quick that, well, I said, hey, you guys threw that up for me, so why don't we get Mama? So we decided to teach her how to drive. And we did a great job on that. So you guys forgot to teach how to back up. Because here I am walking home, and I'm tired. And I know that Mama coming, and she coming. And she went right past me, and I whistled for her to stop. And she did about 4 blocks, country blocks. She stopped, but she couldn't back up to where I was. She went that way, she went this way, and I just said, stay there, and I just what I should do. So we did everything but teach her how to drive, but how to back up. But when you were big enough to put your feet on the clutch, on those standing shift, you start driving. So regardless of what age, or some did a little earlier. I think maybe 13. 14 when I started doing it, but I didn't get my license when I was 15.
Yeah, I learned how to drive a tractor myself. Yeah, I was probably 12 or 13, maybe. No more than that, I know.
I don't think I started driving. 19, 20? With a high school ID? That's what I was doing.
I was 12 and he tossed me the keys and said, grandson, come on. Threw me the keys and said, get in the driver's seat.
Oh, yeah. So that little
I
Ranger,
was shaking.
Keep it straight. Keep it straight.
That little Ranger, wasn't it?
Yep, that white Ranger, yep.
White Ranger.
Yeah. You gave it to Blue Man.
I said, you got to drive today.
Yeah. Man, I was shaking in that. Keep it
That's
straight.
experience right there, though.
Yeah.
Started you off, you got better at it, huh?
Man, I thought I could drive one day. My dad pulled up. He had a Mustang at the time. I think it was like a 95, 96. It was probably the last year they made a 5.0. He had rims on it. I asked him, could I back it up? Man, right there on the curb, I towed him rims up. Oh my God. All I heard was, no! I got off that car shaking. I'm sorry, Dad. I knew I was getting a whooping.
You got whooped?
No. We laughed about it, but he looked at his rims. He was like, ooh.
That was your first accident, huh?
Yeah, man. I knew I was getting it, though.
Bill said that those accidents within 25 miles or 5 miles from your home.
I didn't make it 5 feet.
No, my first was into the house.
Oh, you hit me?
Again, I was a sucker. Mama sent to the store. The brakes were bad on the car. They didn't tell me. I started coming in the driveway, and I'm hitting brakes, and what not happened. I'm pumping. Bam, into the house. Mama dropped the cake that she was making. Asbestos we had on the side went everywhere. And of course, she was mad with me until I told Mama, they didn't tell me. So I got off the hook, but she got on them big time.
We probably geared down for the break.
But you didn't tell me. I literally ran into the house.
But we didn't have, the first car we had was here when I got out of high school, and I started working at Brown and Root. was built on a lot, and I bought the little 54 Ford, and that was the first car we had in years. I was 19 years old when I bought my first car. I just got out of high school.
See what I said earlier. I was a victim. I was abused by them all the time, each way, shape, form, or fashion. And if they did something wrong, our mother name was Rosella. She'd come to me, baby, who did it? And I couldn't lie to mama. So, quite naturally, got to where they said, well, we do something, would you take the rap bush, we'll give you a quarter, we'll give you $1. I did that for a while. And it was great. Got a little money. Well, on the weekend, they borrowed it back, and I never did get it back. So I'm still. So that's the little brother that they had.
How much money he owed you?
Interest? Yeah. I don't think he got it in his savings account right now. So he might have borrowed from one of you guys. Maybe. But that's.
Well, like I said, as long as I owe you, you never be broke.
So what?
I'm about to take that one to the bank. As long as I owe you, you'll never be broke. I like that.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes,
to
sir.
that? They tried to kill me a few times.
Oh.
Other than that car, everybody said, picture this. Farm cows and stuff. There's a little cow. Came in the yard. And cow was lying down. Mama had just bought them BB gun.
That was a Brahma bull.
Let me tell the story. And so, well, maybe I was young enough, I can't remember the whole story, but I do remember this part. They got the BB guns, and they said, well, go over there and make the cow move. The cow come back to, we just going to shoot that cow. We're going to kill a cow. I didn't know. BB gun, cow. And I went over there, the cow knocked me down, and I shoot him. And then dropped the gun laughing at it. I could have been killed again, you see. So that's kind of stuff I grew up with. Abused and misused by my brothers.
Well, you was young and gullible. We took advantage of it.
So you better be glad our mothers taught us to love one another, forgive one another. I'd have been in Angola right now. Yeah.
Builds character, though. That's all it does. It builds character. I ain't had no siblings.
Yeah, well, you think you were blessed. I don't know. If you had to deal with what I had to deal with.
My brother was more gullible than anybody. We had a huge wash nest in the crib. Well, barn, crib, whatever you want to call it.
Wait a minute, brother, can I interrupt? Don't tell that. I'm hurt the way I saw my brother was all scarred up, bruised up, so don't tell that. It pains me today to think about it, so don't tell that. Yeah.
Go ahead and knock it down, and I'm going to hold the door open until you come out. He knocked it down, I locked him in there. They told him,
You locked him in the room with the
locked him in. I said, just knock it down, I'm hold the door open until you come out. They almost killed
Lock
him.
him in a room with bees.
Yeah.
You?
I did it.
They locked you?
Oh, the other brother.
Oh, you really was a victim.
I said he was gullible. He'd go for anything I told him to do.
You see, you ever heard of Baby Kids?
Oh, yeah.
Rosella Burns had the original Baby Kids. Because we should have been dead by now. So dumb shit that Miss Johnson.
Baby ain't coming out. We don't die, we multiply. Baby ain't coming out, all right? All right. Okay.
But you know what? We put pranks on each other, but we loved each other to death. Nobody else would do it. We'd do it to ourselves, but nobody else could do it. No.
So y'all made entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure y'all don't have a television. Man.
Oh,
What year did y'all get a television?
Yeah, those are questions we need to answer.
50 what?
55. Because my grandmother died in 54, December 70th. The day before my 14th birthday, 1954.
Now we were a little
And we had
behind.
TV the next year, 55.
We were a little behind to deliver it to you. So they brought the TV, but they didn't bring the antenna because you used to have the long antennas.
Yeah.
But we could hear them, the movie. We could hear the TV. And first weekend, well, it took about a week before we got the antenna. But just about every day we had a house full of people just listening. Just listening over
And so,
And then when we got the antenna, you had to go outside and turn it around. Well, that channel's over here, that channel's over. Oh, turn it up, brother. Turn it over there. And who was the victim again?
And we were still ahead of everybody else back there with TVs because when fighting nights and Amos and Andy come on, we had a whole house full. Nobody else had TVs except us and maybe one or two other black families.
So did you, like, as I heard of it, I don't know if this is true or was it a myth. It was like when the show was over, the last show of the night, nothing else played. Is
That's
that true?
it. About 12 o'clock.
National anthem
National
played and
That's and start singing and going up there. Going up there.
They did that.
Yeah, back
in
then,
the 90s.
and then the TVs, we had to pay like $300-400 for them. But you only pay once a year. Farmers time, once you get your crop, you pay all your bills. Other than that, you didn't pay any bills. You paid your bills like once a year, the major bills.
Once a year?
Once a year. You
Rent
didn't
too?
pay every month.
You ain't
Well,
pay
we didn't pay rent. We had our own
when your
land.
crop came in.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
when you got your crop, you paid your bills.
But if you look at, sometimes the TV went on like said there was a hurricane or something.
Mm-hmm.
And we were still on television. But you were going in service then. They go, Hurricane Bessie came through and everybody was going
Well, I
to
was
the
just back when Hurricane Betsy. I was 65.
Well, everybody was going to school. I said, well, I'm not going out there. Baby, you know, Mama, I think I was about 13, 14. I'm going to stay right here on the, baby, you need to, Mama, do I have a choice? She said, well, you got food in the refrigerator and all that. And I watched TV all night until about 4 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep. And when I woke up and looked outside, I thought I was on Noah's Ark because I had never, ever seen so much water. And it scared me to, you know what, and but that's the only time I can remember television staying past 12 o'clock. And because when it's a hurricane or something, they would let you know. But other than that, 12 o'clock, or was it 10 o'clock?
That's
That's
12
when the news
o'clock.
went off.
12 o'clock.
And-
It just went off
yeah,
there.
it went off there.
It just different, different little things that with no picture, no sound or nothing. Just stripes. I think just stripes across the thing.
Was grandmother
Did
superstitious?
it go to stinging and just went off there?
Oh, not as much. If she was, she wouldn't say it, and she wouldn't let us talk and stuff like that. I saw a ghost.
Oh, you saw a ghost?
I saw a ghost.
Okay.
I was a little kid, and I was sleeping, and I woke up, and I wanted to go get some water, and I saw this. It was right after my grandmother died, so I figured that was her coming back, so she was all right. But it was her in the corner, and I looked, and it was still, like, covered. Worked, my eyes were still there, and I got under the covers because ghosts can't come under the cover, you know. You saved that. Yeah. So when I peeked back, it was gone. So I went in the kitchen, got some water, and come back, and everyone's over the table doing this. And I boogied back to the bed, covered up, screaming, Mama, Mama. She came, baby, what's wrong? Mom, I just saw a ghost. She said, boy, there's no such thing over there. I said, Mom, I saw something. She said, you were asleep. I said, I thought that at first, but not until I went in the kitchen and was coming back. And well, I never could see a face. It was just something resting. It was just moving like that. But when I ran and covered back up, I never saw it. You know, so, but Rosella wouldn't let you talk about that. You know, she didn't believe. She wasn't superstitious. That I didn't know about.
How much you remember of grandmother? He was about
I was 5, 6 years old.
Yeah, so I was 6.
So that's
I
why
was 13.
I
And I'm
think
6 years older than you.
I think that was one thing she really loved her, and I think that's what I later on I said that could have been her letting me know she was okay, but I couldn't say for sure. But you know, that really hurt me when she passed.
Well, she passed like the day before my 14th birthday, December 7, 1955. The next day I turned 14. So I didn't have a good 14th birthday.
R.I.P. Great grandmother. Great great grandmother.
Yeah. She was good, but she was mean.
She was mean.
Oh, that's how I got this nickname.
Tell the story. You know that.
Let's see if I want to tell you something.
I can tell you that.
Let me do the condensed version. I was always stubborn, hard-headed. You know, I believe in doing it my way. He was a little kid, so she told my brother Lionel to do something, and Lionel started doing it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Boy, you about as stubborn as a doggone billy goat. And them rascals took that, ran with it. Glad they dropped the goat off there, but the village stayed from 5 years on to, I'm 78 now. And so, but I allowed them to say it, but they got to cut the other part off. And I'm the only one who can tell that story, so don't even think about it, okay?
Maybe we should have
No,
kept
don't even
the
think
village
about
and left the
it.
goat.
Don't even think about it, that's my story.
We should have kept the goat and left the
See,
village.
I'm still a victim.
I got boxing
can't
gloves
say-
in the corner.
I'm still a victim.
We bluffed each other, but that's what it got done.
Well,
He's scared and I'm glad. I got the way it is.
Well, that was one Lionel, him and I, we fought. When they kill each other, we just hit. He didn't back down, I didn't back down.
You like that was only 2 faults.
That was it. And any little thing, you know. We rode horses. My horse was faster than his. You know, he stopped on the fight. One day I'm riding the horse. And I didn't know he hid into the bushes, and I'm in a full gallop. And I got to where he was at. He jumped out. The horse went one way, and I went the other way. Then he'll kill me. He got on the horse and rode off.
Oh my.
So that was another fight. You know, so. But it was never to really hurt, but just to get each other's attention, I suppose. And so one time he still fighting, he stood up for me. This guy was in the 5th grade. This little boy had been in the 5th grade about 5 years. And now Fisher's we're seasonal students. You know, you went when the weather was good, you was on the farm. When it was bad, you go to school. So here was weather bad, and she said, before we go recess, we give y'all a little pop quiz, 10 questions, true or false. And he was sitting down. I'm gonna cheat off your paper. I said, man, I can't do that. You don't know what. And okay, so held up to all the wrong answer. And when he got up to go take his paper, I corrected him. She's gonna say, everybody did great on the test, except I'm gonna call his name, except change his name, except you, Leroy. I'm gonna kill you. Recess bell hit and I was gone. And he's chasing me around the campus. And I ran across Lionel and then he grabbed me. What you running for? I said, Leroy's chasing me. And by the time Leroy came out, he beat, don't you ever put your hand on my, you should. And then boy, I'm sorry, Lionel, I'm sorry. I'll kill you if you put your hand on my brother. And I'm like, all right. My brother, the first time he ain't kicking my hand. And I'm proud of my brother. Until we got home, as soon as I put my books down, bam! He decked me. Don't you hear me fighting your fights for you? I said, well, you can let him kick me. But we never tried to kill each other. We got each other's attention. So Rosella said, enough is enough. And she made us hug each other. They said, y'all kiss each other. And she got, no, Rosella. No, I'm gonna whip you again. She said, I'll take the whipping. But Rosella didn't hit lightly. And so I finally, I said, Mommy, you don't have to worry about it. And Lionel says, we never fought again. So she got our attention.
Lionel had a habit of slapping people. He slapped Uncle Willis' wife, Bertha.
Wait, he slapped his
Call him name.
Nah,
But
On that note, on that, let's tee up a commercial break.
don't name, change the name to protect the innocent.
So no, don't cut. Everybody, hold. I didn't say cut. I said we're gonna tee up a commercial break. You roll that audio again. You still rolling, right, Chuck? All right. So the host, but I need y'all.
gun range right here?
You know, so I need y'all to tee up a commercial break. High energy on that last note, like on the note of it was I'm a whoop you again. You know, no, it was your brother slaps so and so. So high energy. We're laughing and we're teeing up a commercial break. Y'all got me? Y'all can bounce it back. Somebody can take it, but I need that.
You want to clap for the new taker?
Did you cut it or you just paused it?
No, it just paused.
He just paused. He didn't fully cut. All right, and 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, so
Lionel didn't back down from anybody. He was this person kept picking on himself. Leave me alone, leave me alone. And her husband said, "You gotta leave Lionel alone." And she wouldn't. And we were at a family reunion of all things, and we would get in the line, having food served to us. And I'm here to Lionel, and she kept going, and the next day I look, she's on the floor. And I'm like, oh no, he did. And I grabbed him. I had to drag him out of there. I don't play that shit. I mean, but anyway, it is. So, didn't back down. So, he and I, even though we didn't get along all the time, we were close. We worked together on different people for him. So, we were out one day picking up hay. Great big old white boy, about 7 feet tall, 4 feet wide. And, he wanted us to pick up the hay. It says, well, look like a rain. Did y'all work overtime? Lionel said, "Oh, you gonna pay me overtime?" And I said, "No, the hell with you and your hay." And boy, you think you with me, Lionel? No, but I damn sure give it a try. So that's good. He wasn't afraid of anybody, but he was there.
All right, we're going to stop you there real quick. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Because he runs his mouth too much.
And cut all around. Now we cut all around.
I was waiting for the they just kept yelling up there. I was like, what a
I'm throwing him on the front.
Yeah, part 2. Part 2, yeah, stop it now. Okay, cool.
Everybody's good. Y'all want something? Y'all want something to drink, something to snack on, something?
Yeah, I might find a little snack or two.
Okay.
Okay,
You want
cool.
fruit,
Yeah, some refreshments wouldn't
vegetables,
hurt. All right, cool, everybody. Hold what you got.
Oh, man, this is
So boom.
It's old English.
When y'all bring them back, like, don't be y'all are the host. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to stop this. Like, especially when they're hitting the story, we want that cliffhanger. Like, right when they say Lionel don't back down for nobody. Hey, right before we get into that, hey, it's a 7-foot white boy that walked up. Hey, right before we, you know what I'm saying? Don't, because y'all control the flow. Right. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it was great. Hilarious. Y'all are hilarious.
True story.
I was just about to say, it's all real. It's all
It's
real.
all it's true.
That was real.
Original smoking stack.
Heard.
That's hilarious.
Talk about your daddy.
That's hilarious. That's good. That's
How you
good.
feel, Chuck? Right on.
You see, we get respect for our kids and grandkids.
You know me and you go.
But he probably called that N-word when I ain't in the room.
I might call you like
Y'all hilarious.
You my favorite artist.
Oh, I can tolerate y'all. Y'all can say whatever you want. I'm gonna let it go.
Yes, indeed.
It'll roll away.
Hey, Chuck, do me a favor.
Roll with it.
Like, can we, let's roll that, you know what I'm saying? Let's capture this little life. Yeah.
I appreciate everybody in the building. Everybody hitting that like button, sharing out the content. I appreciate y'all. I see everybody in the chat. Hold on, let me give everybody a quick shout out. I see my daughter in there. I see you, baby. Jared Green. Big Joe, I see you. Coach 67. My Baton Rouge brother. General, I see you. General. My brother D-Man Jr., I see you. Lady T. Josh Burns. Kevin Burns. Brother RBG Wolf, I see you. I see you, cuz. Charnel. My brother RKBB. Lavish.
You want a snack?
I see you in there, wifey. Everybody in the building, I appreciate all the love, support. Y'all keep on commenting, get us up in the algorithm, share out this content. Hey man, we got nothing but legacy in the building. My great uncle and my grandfather. Oh man, don't worry about the language. They used to me. I be acting the fool on my live streams.
Babe, you want anything?
Babe, do you want anything? I saw you dozing. I saw that head. I didn't want to say nothing.
What year did you start high school?
Nah, I still do this. I
should have graduated in '60. I'm there in ninth grade because I was road. But me, Junior Moore, Robert
You
Bell.
on airplane. I don't want to go home. You better stop playing with your body.
I got it August 6th.
Body's on me. Whatever you don't eat.
That's where you have to.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a little bit of the actual time on Vietnam you know, just kind of freestyle it from there. And toward the end, when we wrap it up, y'all give me anything y'all want to leave on to, the future generation, any words of wisdom, things like that. And that's when I feel y'all doing great.
You turn 32 today.
Hey, happy belated, bro.
Happy birthday.
I ain't so good.
It does.
Still born.
That's still, yeah.
Yeah. I go by soul.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So.
SOUL.
S-O-U-L.
I got soul.
Hey, I got you.
Yes, Lord.
So, I'm thinking, pick that up.
Oh, you can hear. Oh, okay. We watching Saturday. No, you made just sit. You have to come back inside. Now.
How much time we got on commercial?
How much time we got on the commercial? I mean, it's not pre-recorded. We're pre-recording, but we got a live stream.
Oh,
As soon as I make this plate, I'm gonna be in position where you're gonna go.
When I first moved back, I took a cotton paper. A class with cotton paper going on. It's kind of camera. I used to use the church on the fourth. They let me film the church, and then we would go. I could take 2 minutes to the studio, and they would edit it.
Yesterday, I had some pretty good
On the public broadcasting public access channel, I think New Orleans had about 4.
I got
But it might run it
Right.
1 o'clock in the morning.
So I'm gonna take
It might
him
run
off.
10 o'clock in the
Take him
evening.
to
It
the
wouldn't
bar.
run, it wouldn't run a prime time, because it was 3 broadcasting.
Go swimming at the waterfall.
I think it was 3 or 4 channels, public broadcasting channel, you could run.
But I want to.
It was said one guy, one preacher came on and was still coming together, and he went on the air.
Come back in the
Talking about getting and burn his house down 2 years before. About it.
Saturday
Preacher
was going back.
So he told on himself.
everybody goes to capture that.
Yeah, he decided to collect
You're gonna do that on
I'm
your
doing it
own
right now. I'm about to end it right now because it's still live.
Right.
I'm gonna pin the link to the other channels and get them over there so that they can get them to the version.
I guess what I was trying to ask you, you want people back on the couch.
Get some family for the family.
I'll wait till we sit down.
Jeff at the
Get
church.
rolling.
When I always did New Baptist Church in Norman, that was down Lock Profile Lane. The next street over from there, I for them quite a few times. And they were
And then what they would do.
but then
YouTube. I'm about to drop a link to the other channel, the Capture Legacy channel. Y'all make sure y'all get over there and subscribe to the channel because we're gonna drop the full edited version over there.
You might luckily get that prime time, but it may be 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Channel surfing and
But they'll let you know what time they're gonna run it, so you know how to watch out for it.
it was on the regular schedule.
Exactly. But like I said, it was free, you didn't have to pay for it. How long you been doing this kind of?
Interview. This is actually my first time interviewing. Stay comedy for like 10 years. Thank you. So that kind of adds to the
Teamwork,
You say you're the reserve, right?
I was in there.
So I had two of my sons there.
So boom, you got them back on the couch.
The oldest one,
You about to get settled in about 2 minutes.
that was it. I got get ready real quick. Like I said, we're gonna get one was just been here now, 39. The other one getting ready to retire. But he's been in yeah, that's his time. That's all right with that.
Yeah.
And I got one also.
Link in the chat to the Capture Legacy channel. And make sure you get over there and subscribe and get all the bell notifications.
No, I'm good right now.
No, don't give my man. I need him. I need him in my life.
I'll let it one more year. Maybe next year we'll go another year. But right now, I'll give him an extension.
Okay, give me about.
Well, who's gonna have me? I'm gonna be a member. That's only Billy. I remember what you said.
Yeah, well, just hold me to it.
Okay.
Just hold me to it.
Classroom. I'm teaching. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad y'all 50 years class. But don't invite me to the mountain.
I know that's right. Look, we don't want you to come to the next one. Dad.
Yeah.
Make me proud. I'm proud of you, okay? All right, Dad.
Police chief, and the Marine Corps.
I'm just saying,
We want action, this one action, we stick to the script.
So how?
Second, 30 seconds, do about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but on 30 seconds. I was always comfortable with that because it's, we're gonna talk about this next question. And, you know, one problem I have with police chief,
Cameras is rolling.
because they always wanna.
Right, there's a lot. That's why I'm trying to keep them out of the
I'm a
camera.
person basically nervous. I can talk, but once I'm talking, I'm all right.
Yeah, we
Try to flip the script on, and think about it, and then we have problems.
it's on.
I'm comfortable with it. I'm broke.
So, cool.
You ended it, right?
I'm not here about you.
No, not yet.
Some things that I can't talk about.
I'm about to end the lot, right?
That wouldn't get it.
Y'all get over there. We wrapping this thing up.
That's what.
Y'all, peace.